Okay, we are in ninth lit, and we're starting to review the words. And this test quiz will be Tuesday. Let me find it. So why don't we start with Will back there? Marish.
Marshy, and I said the Marish pond was hard to see.
Okay, and I won't comment unless there's something we need to add to it. Tremulous, Emily.
Affected was timidity or trembling. And then the scared boy gave the tremulous.
Yeah, fine, good. Harbinger, Yuritsa.
Something that foreshadows a future event.
Yeah.
I said the people seem to regard the American flag as a harbinger of a new era.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah.
Did you say herald, like harbinger, herald?
A herald announces things. I guess it could be, but a harbinger predicts things. So it's a little bit different. You know, you can announce something that happened in the past, but a harbinger always points to the future.
So what's it saying?
One more time, Yuritsa, the definition.
Something that foreshadows a future.
Foreshadows, predicts. Reese.
A large number of fish swimming together.
Okay, I actually didn't know that. There's another definition,
No, I did not.
too. What did you get, Rachel? For sure.
I said a large number or group.
That's what you said. Yeah,
It's a sandbar body of water.
yeah. What'd you get?
I said a shallow place in the water.
All right, so that's three different definitions. Those two are closer together, although the fish has to do with water. I want you to know that one too. So if you give me that one, I'd like you to know that one. Shoal would be a shallow part that usually, you know, a sandbar creates a shoal. So, you know, ships have to steer away from those. So make sure you know that one. If you want to give me two, that's fine, but I would like you to know that, yeah.
Wait, so what was that?
It's a shallow place in water, or it's a sandbar in the water. That's not exactly, but the sandbar creates a shoal. You see, that's kind of how that works, but that's really the same definition. The sandbar would create a shoal. Pano, there's a place down there, down at Crystal Coast, Emerald Isle area, something shoals, okay? Well, that's what that means. Insolence, you don't have it. How about Ian? Insolence.
Insulting or contemptuous behavior.
Yeah.
And then, my sentence more. The rapacity of her influence of her family was well known.
The what?
I don't know, I was looking up like synonyms. Like rapacity, I don't know.
I'll take a look at that. I'm not even sure what you're saying. The rapacity and insolence of her
So,
family.
Marsh pond was
Yeah, insolence means rudeness, so anywhere you would use rudeness. Rapacity is a different word. I guess it goes with rudeness.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
What?
Isn't there a movie that's called Bohemian Rhapsody?
This is rapacity, not rhapsody.
Rhapsody.
Yeah, or rapacity. All right, so you got the next one. So this one's contemptuous.
Scornful or disrespectful.
Yeah, so that's similar to insolence, but worse. It's a degree worse. How did you use it?
The sentence. You should be contemptuous if you yell at an infant for no reason.
You would be contemptuous, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Or in other words, you would be a contemptuous person if you did treat a child that way. Yes.
For the definition, could you have expressing deep hatred or disapproval?
Yeah. What was yours again?
Scornful or disrespectful.
They're close together. A manifold.
I had many and very.
That's a good word. Good word for that. Good definition. How do you?
There are a manifold of reasons why they needed to stay.
And you could say there are manifold reasons, because you did say it's an adjective, so you wouldn't say a manifold of reasons, because that would make it a noun. So you just say manifold reasons. That would-
What was your definition?
Many and varied, did you say? Varied, meaning many different kinds as well as many. Manifold blessings, that sounds like something you might see in the Bible. They're many, but they're also a variety of different, kind of getting the, I like to buy the cereal in the grocery store that has Frosted Flakes and Sugar Smacks and all these, you know, it's manifold, but it's many, but it's also a variety. Supine.
Lying face upward. So I said the dead soldier lay supine on the battlefield.
I know we've had this discussion. What famous speech has the word supine?
Patrick.
Oh, it's Patrick.
Yes, how's it go?
Lying supinely on their back.
Right. What does it mean when you're lying flat on your face? What's the word that describes that?
Prostrate.
Who said it?
Prostrate.
Yeah, prostrate. You're prostrate if you're face down. You're supine if you lay face up. Jude, omnipotent.
The quality of, having the quality of unlimited power.
Yes, it's omnipotent. It's all powerful.
God has all power and omnipotence over the earth.
Yes, except that's a little repetitive. You say all power and omnipotence. They mean the same thing. How about vehement? Yeah.
Violence and forcefulness.
Violence and forcefulness. Okay. Particularly forcefulness. How did you use it?
And she bursts into song with the despairing vehemence with people bewail disasters they feel they have themselves occasioned.
I didn't hear the second part of that sentence, but I did hear the vehemence part, and that was correct. If you're vehement about something, you're fired up about it. So when you think violence, he committed vehemence against somebody, you know, that's not what it means. It's an emotion that is almost a violent emotion. Yeah.
I got strong passion.
Yeah, a strong passion. Is that what you had? Are we back there? Okay. Mallory, where was, yeah. Penitent.
Repentance.
Yeah. I'm looking for my definition. You know, penitence is being sorry for something that you do. So, what did you say? What did you say?
Repentance.
Yeah. So if you're repentant, they're a little different. Repentant and penitent are similar. They kind of go together, not exactly the same. How did you use it?
I said the woman's penitence brought her closer to God.
Yeah. Usually it's also involves some sort of act that you do to show that, yeah.
And regret for doing wrong.
Yeah, it's the regret for doing wrong. I like that. How about, do you have this, the
Yeah.
definition? Where are we? Innervate. It
Of
says
force.
of force, right, okay. It's to drive of energy, force, power. If you feel innervated, that means I don't have any strength. I can't lift my pencil off the desk or my head off the desk. That's being innervated. Innervate is a verb. Anybody use it in a sentence? Innervate, yes.
The heat enervated us all.
Yes, good. That's a really good context, yeah.
Did you say the hot sun enervated her to collapse?
Oh, yes, very good. So just anybody, azure, what color is azure? Of the sky particularly. So it's an adjective, the azure sky. How about noisome? It doesn't involve sound. Got the word noise in there, but it doesn't have anything to do with sound, yes.
Having an extremely offensive smell.
Yeah, that's gonna fool some of you. It doesn't have anything to do with sound, but smell, offensive smell. Noisome. Boge, we know that is, because it's such a strange word. You know what a boge is? I told you the definition of that one. It's a trench or a ditch. Lambert, yes.
I got bulge or swell out, or is that, that's a verb definition?
You talking boge?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're using them as a verb here, but it can be actually a noun in the book. And we're gonna say a trench or a ditch. So it says verb, but we're using it as a noun. How about lambent? Yes.
Add softly, bright, or radiant.
Yeah. You can add this flickering softly. A lambent flame is a soft flame, but you know how they don't stay in one spot, it moves back and forth like this. That's a lambent flickering. It usually involves a flame, though. That's perforate. Yeah.
Pierce or put a hole through.
Sure.
Suffer from bruises and a perforated eardrum in accident.
Yeah, that's often how it's used in terms of the eardrum. I don't know why it's used that way. Simony. Got three more. Simony, anybody? Greece?
To buy or sell a church office.
It is the act of, so it's a noun, of buying or selling a church office. We can't imagine that now. There's nothing material value to a church office, meaning position. But in the Middle Ages, there was value in having a church power or office, and if you sold it, I see the podium is up on the roof there.
Is it cone in the tree? I just noticed.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. All right, anyway, that's simony. Ursine. Did you have Latin? I bet you knew this, right? You ever had studied Latin? What is ursine?
Of or relating to a bear.
Yes. I don't know how you'd use it in a sentence. How'd you use it?
The Ursine man was full of bear.
The bear man. Okay. And veneration is the last one. Okay, yeah, Dave.
Feeling of awe or respect.
Yes.
You should have veneration towards people who have done good to you.
Okay. Veneration, in some cultures venerate their elders. There's this idea of veneration of their elders. So all of this, 20 words, Tuesday, it's here before you know it. And then we'll do one more. I think we can get one more in. Meanwhile, let's get back to the book. I think I still have your, let's see. No, it's not yours. Let's see, if you would, turn to page 118. Line 61, which is right at the top. You know who he is? Who's he?
He's a black man, right?
He's the one that takes like Virgil and Dante across the river.
Which river?
The Styx.
Right, he ferries him across the river Styx, and we just meet him on this. We actually met him in the previous page, but this is his name. Who is he? Yeah.
He's a person in the river that is dying because of his wrathful sins, and he attacks Dante and Virgil, and they throw him back in the river. And didn't Dante know him?
Yeah. And what kind of sins did you say?
He was wrathful,
And what does that mean?
angry.
Yeah. So he's the guy that grabbed the boat, and Dante cursed him out, so to speak. And Virgil says, "Blessed be the womb that bore you." Because what does that illustrate? I want you to understand that. What does it illustrate? Yeah, read.
It was like the first time he was angry at sin.
Right. It happened to be in another person, but if you remember, this is an allegory. All the sins that he sees are really his own, and frankly, yours and mine. We're not. None of us pray go out and kill somebody. But Jesus said that if you're angry, really, really angry at somebody, it's the same as murder. And so the standard, when Jesus lifted the bar, he lifted the bar so high that we can't get over it without his help. But remember, Dante is finally angry at sin, his own. So this is where we are at the beginning. Why don't we, Lauren, would you read for us, have at Filippo, or see, and remember when they leave him, you're going to see all the other spirits that are in the water, they attack him, and that's because he's angry. He's angry, yeah.
So it's not Holy Saturday?
Whatever it says up there, yeah, I kind of lose track of what day it is, but that's good to note that. All right, you may begin.
Habit would be identity. They were wrong, low, the shade of the foolish horn turn on his head, fighting his king in the land. They left me him as doth his tail of mine, for on my ears there smote a willing cry, and I craned forward eager to divine. It's me. See my son, it now draws nigh, said my good Lord, the sweet change of this, for this sad season is great coming. And already I see its mercies arise.
Okay, those are mosques, and what are mosques?
Is it somewhere where you worship?
Yeah, who worships in mosques?
Like monks?
Yes. So it's interesting that he sees the city of Dis. There are no churches in the city of Dis. There are no temples in the city of Dis, but there are mosques.
What page are we on?
118.
Already I see its mosques arise, clear from the valley yonder, a red shout, as though drawn out of glowing furnaces. And we are white, the flames unquenchable, that fire burned from within the dust makes him good. Ruddy as thou seest in this, and he never help. He now will come to the deep mouth, which turns his gray that city all this continent. Those walls appear to make a real iron. A long way round we had to navigate, before we came to where the ferryman roared, out with you now, for here's the gate. Thousands and more thronging the barley home. I saw of spirits falling from heaven, he cried, angrily, who goes there? Why walks this man? Undead, the king of the dead. My guide, wary and wise, made signs to them, to show he sought a secret parley. Then they cried, evading someone, they called out, why so? Come thou within, and bid that fellow begone, that rash intruder on our realm below. Let him win back his foolish way alone, see if he can, for thou with us shalt stay, that through this night of Dan hast led upon. Reader, do not conceive of my dismay, here you step forward. It seems quite plain, and never more should see the light of day.
We are at question number 38. We're almost finished the second page. 39, what is it? Dante loses nerve at this point. So we haven't read 119. Have you found it? Anybody find the apostrophe?
What's an apostrophe? Yes.
Anybody remember what an apostrophe is? It's when in Beowulf, somebody, I don't remember who it was, it's,
Is it like talking to inanimate?
yeah, he's talking to the earth, I can't remember who it was, talks to the earth can't talk back, that's an apostrophe. You talk to a rock, an inanimate object, talk to an animal, tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye, their shape, our fearful symmetry. He's talking to a tiger. Lamb, who made thee? He's talking to a lamb. That's.
So is it kind of like personification?
It is, but it's addressed to somebody. So it is personifying somebody, but in the context of the poem, the entire poem is addressed to that person, or part of a poem. So I still haven't found it. Do you know where it is? Look, I haven't. Oh yeah. Look at the bottom. So where's the apostrophe? Remember talking to somebody who can't talk back or something that can't talk back? Yes,
Is it him saying reader, not like him talking to reader?
absolutely correct. The reader, we can't talk back to him. We can, but he'll never hear us. So that's the apostrophe. Good job with that. So they come to the city of Dis. Remember, we looked at that. That's the halfway mark in hell. It's a burning city. Dis means Satan. And it noticed that there are spirits fallen from heaven that are there. Who are spirits fallen from heaven?
Angels.
Angels. But we don't call them that in hell. What do we call them?
Demons.
Demons. This first time in hell we see demons. They won't let Dante in, so Virgil goes to talk with him. We'll see what happens. You want to read some, Grace?
O master dear, that 7 times over was brought him safely through, said I, and freed from all the privilege in the covenant. Leave me not utterly undone. Indeed, if we do not the Lord creditless, and hasten back together with all his people. Then said my Lord and leader, fear no, there is none at all. Nor make me hope there. We cast such power of great.
Okay, underline that. Virgil, Dante says, let's quit and hasten back. He wants to go back. Question number 39 wants him to go back. Wonder why at this point he wants to go back. He's gotten halfway through hell. Wonder why he wants to go back. What's he afraid of now? Well, he did see demons. I think it is intimidating to see this city. They don't want him in. They have to go inside. They're already inside hell. They have to go inside the city of Dis. Anyway, probably all those reasons. So that's the answer to question 39. But what is, right here, line 105, what does Dante say that should reassure him? What does he always say? What does he always tell? He told Pluto, he's told Minos, he told, what's his name, Charon, all told him the same thing, yeah.
It says, don't fear and will not forsake them, I still say with them.
I couldn't hear that last part.
Well, say what's going to protect them, it says, don't fear, because be with them.
That's true, but ultimately, who's running the show? God. So God has willed you to do it. No power in hell or heaven on earth can thwart the will of God. That is as true today. And you're thinking, I could do it right now. I mean, you could think of something God wants you to do, and you could say, I'm not going to do it. Look at all the bad stuff going on in the world. They're thwarting the will of God. Only temporarily. God will ultimately always gets what he wants. Every single time and every single thing. Nothing happens that wasn't in his plan. So, I don't know why they keep telling you you can't come in, because they can't stop you. And yet, they have to wait. They're going to have to wait for a little extra help here. So, you can keep reading.
What do we hear to
Yeah.
God mistake thee? Feed thy faint heart with hope and calm thy breast. For in this underworld all not safety. Gentle waters bound and lift to street. Abandon here Lord, long nor drop them off. For needy sinners possess. His proffered terms I could not hear, not long. He stood in thought of them. And suddenly they all rushed in again, long, leaving him outside, so the enemy stand the gate in my master's face, who thus turned him and came with slow steps back to me.
All right, so what just happened? They have this parley in front of the city. What happened?
Virgil leaves.
And they shut the door. you can't come in. All right, so Dante comes back to him. Go back to line 105 again and underline it. Such power hath granted it. Underline that. Everybody underline it? All right, that's an example of a periphrasis. Look on the first page. The literary term, a periphrasis. Last word there. A periphrasis is using a long phrase when a short phrase would perhaps be better. But it's using a longer phrase than using the shorter phrase. Most of the time we would tell you just the opposite. Don't use a big word if a short word does the same thing. Don't use a long sentence if a short sentence does the same thing. Now, there are times when a short sentence doesn't do the same thing. A short word doesn't do the same thing. What's the shorter way you could have said that? Such power hath granted it. How could you say that shorter? Such power hath granted it. That's 5. Yeah.
God is granted.
Yeah, God wills it. You could say it instead of such power, you just say God. So that's how periphrasis works. It uses a longer phrase when a shorter one would work. So now they're outside the city and with nothing to do. So we'll go to Jude.
A master, right?
His eyes.
Wait, sorry. What page? 1 minute. Oh, his eyes were
There you go.
downcast, his anxious brows shorn of all boldness. Sighing, he said, "What's here? Who dares forward me the mountains of wars?" And then aloud to me, "Have thou no fear, though I be wroth? I'll win this travel of power, whatever hindrance they can try from there." Their truculence is no new thing. Once before 'twas tried at a less secret gate, whereon no bars remain forever. Above that door thou sawest the dead idol, and now comes one, this side already treading the steep abyss, and guardless passing all the circles down, that shall unbar to us the gates of this.
Circle the word truculence. It's not one of our words, but it's a really good one. It means savagery or cruelty. It even sounds like it. Truculence sounds bad, doesn't it? Yeah, Ian.
Wait, where is the part you just said?
Say that again.
Oh, what was the part you told us to underline?
It's line where is it? 105.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what are they waiting for? Remember their situation? They can't get in the city. They won't let him. At the same time, they said God's will is never thwarted, so what are they waiting for? Well, use your imagination. God's will is never thwarted, but they're not letting us in, so what must they be waiting for? For help, yes. And he says, oh, God's already sent somebody down here. He's on his way. Tell me who it is not.
Jesus.
It's not Jesus. Well, how do we know that?
Because he already asked John to help.
He already went once, and he's sitting at the right hand of God. He's not standing up until he comes back. And imagine that, okay, you'd like to be in heaven, that he stretches his arms, okay, I'm standing up. And when he stands up, everything changes. There's a moment when he'll stand up. And we'll probably be with him, and we'll be doing whatever we do in heaven. And there he goes. He's standing. It's time. And millions of us stand up with him. We're coming back, and he's coming back. But he's sitting right now. That's because that shows he's in charge. He's ruling. So they're waiting. Okay, what would you do if you were in hell and waiting? How would you spend the time? Crying? Yeah, good point. I think, I would be, and it's awfully hot. Remember, they're at the hot part of hell right now. Turn the page. That's what nether hell looks like. Once they get through the city, look at the diagram. See the gates of Dis? They're gonna enter through there, then they gotta cross, what is that thing there? It's this barrier, and that will take them to well, first of all, as soon as they go into the city, that's the 5th circle. All right? No, I'm sorry, that's the 6th circle. The 5th circle was outside in the river Styx. This would be the 6th circle. And the 6th circle is the circle of heresy, which we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah,
What's the answer to 40?
what is the question? Oh, yeah, who do you think? It's not Jesus.
God.
Well, you know, Jesus is God, but you mean the Father. Of course, the Father's not gonna come either. If Jesus doesn't come, the Son. See, that's the role of Jesus. You know, Jesus is the hands and feet, in a sense, of the Father. Jesus has a body like ours, the Father does not. So who do you think it would be? Exactly. I mean, what's the other choice?
Gabriel.
Yeah, one of the angels, absolutely. Trivia. Who are the only 2 archangels mentioned in the Bible? I think they're both archangels.
Lucifer.
Michael and
Oh,
Gabriel.
I hadn't thought about it. I always forget about him. That's very good. That's very good. If they're only angels mentioned, and Lucifer is one of them.
Michael and Gabriel.
Those 3, Lucifer, Michael, and Gabriel. And I commend Ian for thinking about that, because Lucifer, that is Satan, is, and I suppose he's an archangel. I don't know. I don't know if they're just 1 or 2. All right, so where are we? I guess we're at that. Are we at that? I've lost track completely.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, would you do oh, again, look at the picture. I want to make sure you see the picture. That's where they're going. And so, let's see what happens there.
Do I read the story?
The story, yes, you did.
Dante, alarmed by Virgil's anxiety, tactfully inquires of him whether he really knows the way to hell, with a reassuring answer. The furies appear and threaten to unloose Medusa. A noise like thunder announces the arrival of a heavenly messenger, who opens the gates of this and rebukes the demons. When he is departed, the poets enter the city and find themselves in a great plain, covered with the burning tombs of the heretics.
All right, so we'll go to Mallory.
Wait, where did he? Oh, I see. Okay, seeing my face and what a coward's color turned when he came back, my guide was quick to put a like his own on one power. He stood and leaned intent as who should prick his ear to hear. Far one could not see, so black the air was, and the fog was so thick. Nay, somehow we must win this fight, said he, if not, that great self-proffered aid is willing, but oh, how long his coming seems to be. I saw too clearly how his first intent was cloaked by what he came after. What he said was not what he thought of it. But nonetheless his speech increased my dread. For maybe I pieced out the broken phrase to a word that meaning was in his head. Did any ever, descending from that place where loss of hope remains their only web, ride to its death this hollow spear remains? I put this question, he replied, although it is rare that one of us should come this way or undertake the journey I now go. Yet once before I made it, truth to say, conjured by cruel error. She whose spell will recall back the shapes to their dead clay. I was not long stripped of my mortal shell when she told me to pass within you, well to fetch a spirit from human circle of hell.
All right, so look at, if you'll flip the paper to question number 41 on the back, yeah,
I use the bathroom.
sure. All right, we just got the answer. What indication do we receive who might be on the very bottom of hell? It mentions Judas by name here. So, Virgil is saying, I was not long stripped of my mortal shell when she compelled me, that's a witch, Ericto, to pass yon wall to fetch a spirit from Judas' circle of hell. So one time Virgil had to travel to this cinder or the pit of hell to get somebody. We'll go to Ian. They're talking here about the pit of hell.
Starting on 28.
124, yeah, number 28.
That is the deepest, darkest place of all, and farthest from high heavens, all moving fury.
Gyre.
Gyre. I know the way, take heart, no ill shall fall. On every side the vast and reeking mire surrounds the city of the woe begot, where now is no entering, save with wrath and ear. And he went on, saying, I know not what from my whole being was drawn up with my eyes, to where the tower's high battlements burned red hot. For there, of a sudden, I saw 3 stripes arise. There 3 hellish furies, boltered all with blood. Their form and bearing were made of woman-wise. Vivid green hydras girt them, and a brood of asps and adders, and each a living tress, withered bound the rows of that fell sisterhood. And knowing well those handmaids pitiless who serve the Queen of everlasting will, behold, said he, the fierce Uranus, there on the right, Electro howls, and lo, Megira on the left, with and wails, Tisiphone in the silent self. They beat their breasts and tore them with their nails, shrieking so loud, that faint and tremulous. I clutched the poet, and they were fierce, with fiercer yells, cried, fetch Medusa glaring down on us, turn him to stone. Why did he not fight? Well worth the day, the insult of Theseus. Turning about and turned down Hyla's sight, Gordon show her face, and thou thereon look once, there is no returning to the light. Thus cried the master, which my hands alone would trust, but turned me himself and urgently pressed my palms closed and covered them with his own. O you whose intellects keep their sanity, you mark well the doctrine shrouded or by the strange versions of their mystery.
All right, so they are waiting outside the city of Dis. Look at the top of the page. On top of the wall of the city of Dis, they see 3, what do we call any group of 3? All right, they see 3, a triad of what animal, what creatures rather?
Hydras? Furies.
Oh, yeah, Furies. Furies, let me tell you who Furies are. Furies are avenging deities with snakes on their heads, hair. So the Furies are avenging deities. And there are 3 of them. That's a triad. And they call on, just make a note of this, they call on Medusa. Medusa is a gorgon,
What's the weird snake head?
and she also has snake. What happens if anybody looks at Medusa?
Turn this down.
So what does Dante do what does Virgil do for Dante? He closes his eyes, turns him around, and puts his hands over his eyes. That's a triple defense against. So we should be up to about question number 42. But we haven't found the apostrophe yet, so you should be studying. And we'll get a lot done next week and then start thinking about the test.
Where's Mark offered?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead.